Alright, what we have here is a neat old Audioronics record player, and we just got it closed at the moment. I was going to show you the sticker that was, or the hang tag, I mean, that was attached to it. I thought that was neat. And here's the unveiling. You notice it has neat suspension on the bottom. And we're just a little too close to the other stereo there. Pardon me for just a second with that. And there's your balance, treble, bass, volume. We'll turn that down just a little bit for right now. And we'll set these midway. There's the speed control for slow and fast. And 16, 33, 45, and 78. And the player does turn on its own. At last I knew, and we had some lights, but I had no speakers to test it by at the Salvation Army. So hopefully we'll get that right. And we got some microphone hookups here, left and right. And there's the speaker hookups, left and right. And it just so happens that I didn't have the, since I don't have the proper type of speakers, I do have these adapters. And we'll see what this is going to do. Right here live on camera. I do know that we had lights. I might have mentioned that before. I believe that's how it directs us to plug the speakers in. I'd tell you the truth, I ain't really good at making out schematics. And we'll unscrew the tone arm. I do have a record here, I believe. Well, if I don't, I can get one. Alright, be right back. Alright. Turn it on. I just now plugged it in over there to my convenience outlet that I made. I'm going to turn them on. And the phonomotor comes right on. I'll turn that off for just a sec. And we'll have a record on there. And I'll let you look at the title on the record. This is how it's locked down for transport, but I guess I've unscrewed it somewhere along the line. And we got a little pop there, which is good. Oh, can't beat that.
I was driving down the highway not long ago, on my way to a revival. I saw this young fella standing on the roadside, hitchhiking. For some reason, I just felt like picking him up.
You gotta feel the speed a little slow.
And began to talk to him. Introduced myself and said, "Son, where are you going?"
You can tell it's a hot amplifier.
I'm going home. I haven't been home in a long time. I'm kind of anxious to see Mom and Dad. I just hope that they'll have me back. Now, I thought that was kind of strange. I said, "Son, why, any mom and dad would be glad to see their boy come home." He said, "Yes, preacher, but you don't know my background and the things that I've done." He said, "When I was a boy, going to high school, my mother took in washings and ironings to help pay my way. My poor old gray-haired daddy even took on extra jobs so I could graduate. And you know, preacher, after I graduated from high school, I was ashamed of Mom and Dad I was ashamed of the way they were dressed. I was ashamed of their grammar. I even hated for my friends to see them. One night, I came in late, and Daddy asked me where I'd been. We got into an argument, and I hit my daddy. I told Dad that night I'd never step foot in his house again. Mommy begged and cried and asked me not to leave, but I left that night. Well,
which is neat.
I went to the city, got myself a job. Every now and then, I'd get a letter from home.
Ways, I think I like the mono sound better than I like the stereo.
But it seemed like one thing led to another, and it wasn't long before I got into trouble. I got into bad trouble, preacher. They put me in jail. It just broke my poor old mother's heart, because everybody back home heard all about it. Well, it's been about 5 years, and I haven't been home since. And I said to him, well, son, how come you're going home now? He said, about a week ago, I was walking down the street one night. I had a bottle of strong drink in my hand when I heard this music coming from this church. I stopped and I listened, and they were singing, Lord, I'm coming home. Something began to deal with my heart, and I began to think about Mom and Dad. I was ashamed to go inside, but that night, as that preacher preached that message, something got a hold of my heart. He told about a boy who'd left his father and went into the city and spent all that he had, and finally got him a job taking care of the hogs. He preached that that boy finally went home one day, and his daddy met him with open arms. And it kind of reminded me of myself. When he gave the altar call, right down there on the ground I knelt in the dark, and I prayed, and God saved my soul. I wrote and told Mommy, told her I was coming home.
Since that's so long, I'm going to let that play in full later when I'm done with the video. We'll do that at the end when I got my tripod. Alright, microphone test. Now my biggest issue is I can't hardly turn the volume up without this thing wanting to squeal at me. Check. That one works. And we'll switch it to the other side. Oh, don't want to do that. I just not turned that. There we go. Did it again. Turn that volume all the way up, pretty much. Anyway, check. And it doesn't. And the volume control, I think there's must be a separate volume control for the record player, because that's all the way down, and of course you can still hear my voice through the speakers. And we'll hit the mono switch, and I think my voice is coming through both speakers now. And I know you're not supposed to be leaving needles on a record, but I accidentally did. Okay, I guess that just about ends the demonstration part. I notice we can turn the bass and treble and adjust them, and apparently it works on the microphones too. But it seems it made me deeper just then when I turned the bass toward flat. the bass up, and the bass is still real deep. And the treble is probably going to give me trouble. Because I just about heard the squeal just then. Alright, we'll turn it off and we'll look for something to plug into that input there. Well, I had to resort to this honkingly long AV cable to do this audio demonstration that I'm about to do. And I don't know if you could probably detect it on camera or not, but the song plays in stereo. Yeah, the volume from the record's pretty high.
It just broke my... Was everybody back?
Barely turn the knob.
It's been about 5 years, and I haven't been home since. And I said to him, well, son,
This is the cartridge it's got. I don't know if y'all can see in there good enough, but there it is.
The world that you mine. I chew my nails and I twiddle my thumbs. I'm real neck.
Just wanted to get y'all, let y'all get a look at this thing with the lights dimmed. And these are the speakers I have it connected to. Let's see here. Alright, got the audio jacks connected to my cell phone. The audio input jacks that are right there. And this is Mocking Banjo, which is played in stereo. See the balance control cuts off the banjo. There's the mandolin plate. Cuts off the mandolin right there. Pull it out and get mono. Of course, that was off. This, believe it or not, that's like on 2.5 one on the audio amp. Now to demonstrate the record player. I hope I can do this because it's kind of tedious behind the tripod. A little buzz in the speaker. I don't know if we got a bad ground connection or what. It's just in that one channel. And this tends to pop. We'll try this for you. Yes, it's that loud on the phone now.
I saw this young fellow standing on the roadside, hitchhiking. For some reason, I just felt like taking him. I was driving down the highway not long ago, on my way to a revival. I saw this young fellow standing on the roadside, hitchhiking. For some reason, I just felt like taking him up. Got him into the car and began to talk to him. Introduced myself and said, "Son, where are you going?" He said, "Preacher, I'm going home. I haven't been home in a long time, and I'm kind of anxious to see Mom and Dad. I just hope that they'll have me back." Now, I thought that was kind of strange. I said, "Son, why, any mom and dad would be glad to see their boy come home." He said, "Yes, preacher, but you don't know my background and the things that I've done." He said, "When I was a boy, going to high school, my mother took in washings and ironings to help pay my way. My poor old gray-haired daddy even took on extra jobs so I could graduate. And you know, preacher, after I graduated from high school, I was ashamed of Mom and Dad. I was ashamed of the way they were dressed. I was ashamed of their grammar. I even hated for my friends to see them. One night, I came in late, and Daddy asked me where I'd been. We got into an argument, and I hit my daddy. I told Dad that night I'd never step foot in his house again. Mommy begged and cried and asked me not to leave, but I left that night. Well, I went to the city, got myself a job. Every now and then, I'd get a letter from home, Mommy asking me to come back. But it just seemed like one thing led to another, and it wasn't long before I got into trouble. I got into bad trouble, preacher. They put me in jail. It just broke my poor old mother's heart, because everybody back home heard all about it. Well, it's been about 5 years, and I haven't been home since. And I said to him, "Well, son, how come you're going home now?" He said, "About a week ago, I was walking down the street one night. I had a bottle of strong drink in my hand when I heard this music coming from this church. I stopped and I listened, and they were singing, 'Lord, I'm coming home.' Something began to deal with my heart, and I began to think about Mom and Dad. I was ashamed to go inside, but that night, as that preacher preached that message, something got a hold of my heart. He told about a boy who had left his father and went into the city and spent all that he had, and finally got him a job taking care of the hogs. He preached that that boy finally went home one day, and his daddy met him with open arms. And it kind of reminded me of myself. When he gave the altar call, right down there on the ground I knelt in the dark, and I prayed, and God saved my soul. I wrote and told Mommy, told her I was coming home. Preacher, we've got some apple trees up in our orchard. You can see them from the road. I told Mommy if she'd let me stay to put an old white rag out in those apple trees. Well, we drove on down the road, and we began to drive into the little town. He turned to me and said, "Preacher, I'm scared." I can't look. And I said, son, I'll look for you. And I looked up on that hillside, and there were sheets and pillowcases and white rags on every apple tree in that hillside. And down there the fence was that precious old gray-haired mom and dad with a great big old white sheet waving. I'll tell you about the power of God falling. Brother, we began to shout and praise God right there in that automobile. And I said, son, don't get out here. I'm going to drive you on home, because I want to be there when this takes place. Oh, praise the Lamb of God. I'm so glad for the love that Mom and Dad has got for even boys and girls who've gone astray. Here's what happened now. As I drove him down the lane, tears of joy fell like rain. In the distance, you could see their smiling faces. They were all there to greet him. Mom and Dad, they ran to meet him as I watched him touch the green, green grass of home.
If I leave this world of sorrow, sometime before you do, just look for me in heaven and look off the long but if first you fail to see me, let me tell you where I'll be. I'll be thanking Christ, my Savior, for saving a wretch like me. Don't look me again.